Hello. Boy oh howdy, thank you so much for purchasing my brand new audiobook. Your support of my work is so appreciated by nasties. I love you. Anyway, this audiobook is going to be a real banger of a time, y'all. You ain't heard nothing like it before. You're gonna be in for a real neat treat. Wow, it will make you cry. Wow, it will make you laugh. Wow, it will most definitely make you poop your pants a little bit. And wow, it might even make you fall asleep like some haters do, like legit only an hour after they wake up while they're playing their 3DS. Okay, but anywho, I just really want to emphasize how much it means to me that y'all are listening to this audiobook. I've spent so much time planning and thinking about the story that I guarantee it will make total sense at least 6% of the time. Okay, now let's get to the show. Yeah baby. The Mojave Desert. A desolate, lifeless land full of desolate, lifeless characters. Wranglers and outlaws, gunslingers and saloon dwellers, and maybe even a couple of cactuses or two. You know, the usual kind of stuff. We begin our journey in the small town of Whisper Ridge. The town sits in the dead center of the desert, a surprisingly simple town for a not-so-surprisingly simple community. But in this here town, a new story has unfolded. A story unlike anything the folk in the town have seen. With all the hullabaloo going around, the mayor of Whisper Ridge, Mayor Sylvia Potts, decides to hire a new sheriff. A man by the name of Nasty Jack. Now this sheriff ain't new to any crazy mysteries or unexplainable types of events. He's been around the block once. Like literally once. And to be completely transparent, he really ain't too smart, but he would be darned if he wasn't dedicated, albeit a bit cowardly. We enter the scene as Nasty Jack walks into the old sheriff's office. A woman working at the office is pinning up a poster fresh off the press. It read, "Murder in Whisper Ridge Cemetery." No one knows who did it, how it was done, and more importantly, who the body is. Whisper Ridge. Chapter 1. The New Sheriff in Town. Written and narrated by Nasty Jack. I moved closer to the poster on the wall to get a better look, the spurs on my brand new alligator leather cowboy boots jingling with each step I took. The woman who put up the poster turned toward me and gave me a nasty thick stink eye and then ran into the next room. Okay, wow, what the frick, she's definitely top on my list right now for suspects for this murder, I thought to myself as I pulled a tiny little notepad and pen out of my shirt pocket and jotted her down. I looked back up at the poster. There was some more text toward the bottom. From what I read, it sounded like the murder happened not but a few days ago. Mayor Potts reached out to me lickety-split quick, I reckon. It was pretty good timing too, because I just happened to quit my previous job like only 6 years ago and have legit just been sitting around my house all day every day since then watching Netflix. It was so good yummy yummers to get back out into the field. But anyway, it was so odd how little information there was about the murder. No known killer, no known means, and no identification on the body. Wow, that's so cool. I thought to myself. A real murder mystery. Suddenly I heard a man's voice to my left. A real tragedy, that one, he said. I looked over and saw an old bald man with a mustache sitting at the front counter of the sheriff's office. Yeah, it really sucks for that noob I guess lol I responded. The man gave a little cackle like ho you're a real funny one he said. And you're the new sheriff in town I reckon? The name's Willy Billy. He stuck out his hand for me to shake. I grasped it loosely and wiggled it all around. Hello, I'm Nasty Jack the new sheriff in town, but based on what you literally just said you probably already know that so yeah whatever. You're an odd feller he said. No lol I responded. A serious look came over the man's face in that moment and he leaned in closer to me. Look here Sheriff Jack, the folk in this town aren't always what they seem. Some are more shifty you see. Putting up facades like they're all sweet and innocent, but they know better, he said as he tapped a finger on his temple. Okay cool dude I'm not sure why you're telling me that but I'll try to keep that in mind I said. Willy Billy leaned back in his chair and gave a creepy little smile like wow this dude is so old and little and creepy. Before I could pull out my tiny little notepad from my shirt pocket to make a note of him, I heard the sound of some thick ole boots and clinking spurs coming from down the hallway. Clink, clink, clank, clink, clonk. I turned around and couldn't believe my eyes. Oh, my gosh. Standing there in the middle of the room, was a lizard. Ad break. Hello. My nasties. Yeah, aren't you guys excited for this new audio boom because I know I should be. Anyway I just want to say frick you Stan. You have yet to help me out on this audio boom and I actually prefer it that way but still I can't get over everything you put me through in the past with the blackmail and the jello and the monkeys. Gosh dang it I'm going to have nightmares for years because of you. Anyway, the ad breaks will be just a little bit different this time around. In the instance that we don't have two sponsors, we'll just have one, and then we'll go to our new short segment, Nagging Nasties, where we'll hear from our loving fans. I'm so excited. The first sponsor for today's chapter is water. Have you ever felt thirsty? Feel a dryness in your throat? Is your pee a dark shade of yellow? Well, water can help you out with all of these ailings and mucho macho more. If you start drinking water all the ladies in the entire galaxy will love you because you're so dummy thick hydrated. Wow it's so hot. Water is also really cool cause fish love it and they love it when you drive a small boat and shake around some water just above the surface of the water. Yeah, it's weird but it makes sense. And now for our new segment. Nagging Nasties. Today we're hearing from Dank Meme Lord 320. Here's what he writes. Hey there Nasty Jack. I've been following your stuff for the past couple of weeks and I just wanted to say that I think you're an absolute pile of garbage. Go suck a brick and then file bankruptcy. You suck and I hate you. Okay wow thanks so much Dank Meme Lord 320. He sounds like such a genuine gay. Oh. I love that. I love him. And I love our fans, the Nasties. They're always just so honest and kind. I appreciate the kind words and encouragement. Okay well that's all we have time for on Nagging Nasties. Now let's get on back to the LA show. Yeehaw brotha. The lizard boy was as tall as a man and he walked on his hind legs like a cute little puppy. Oh. He wore a brown vest and cowboy hat and was also strapped with a revolver. The lizard boy scanned the room and licked his eyes with his long purple tongue. I was freaking out to myself, and pooped my pants a little like holy wow I've never seen an anthropomorphic animal in my entire life oh my gosh is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. I leaned over to Willy Billy. Who, or what, the frick is this guy? I asked. Before he could respond the lizard man looked over at us and spoke. Name Spaghetti Sam. Deputy Spaghetti Sam. Looks like I'm gonna be your right-hand man. Oh shoot, I responded. Well, technically you're not a man, but it's no biggie lol. But the deputy, you see? Think you're ready for the big rig fig pig big time like this? I asked. Sheriff Jack, is it? Listen here, I've been studying the law ever since I was but 6 days old. I know it like the back of my thick curly tail. And when it comes to gunslinging, he stopped talking and whipped out his revolver. He pointed it straight at me and shot a hole straight through my brand spanking new cowboy hat that I spent 98,629 cents on. Oh. I pooped a little bit in that very instant. Spaghetti Sam spun his gun around one of his scaly fingers and stuck it back in its holster. I'll be outside waiting for you, Sheriff. He licked his eyes once more and walked out of the sheriff's office, pushing his way through the saloon doors. I turned to Willie Billy. Wait, so my assistant is only a deputy? Yep, he sure is. Oh. You don't have anyone of a higher ranking to help me out with the stank thing? I mean, it's kind of a big deal. There's probably a lot more going on than meets the okay gooey eye. Well, you see, Whisper Ridge is normally a pretty quiet town. Not much goes on around these parts, except for like the death of an old fart member of the town, but that's pretty standard stuff, so we've only needed to hire a few people at a time to be a part of our sheriff's office. Okay, well, frick you Billy Willie, I said. Actually, it's Willie Billy, he responded. You know what, I literally don't care right now. Anyway, I need to go out to Spaghetti Sam and figure out what our first move is going to be. Peace out, you little hater. With that, I walked out of the sheriff's office and saw Spaghetti Sam, already mounted on his horse, staring me down. Oh hey dude, I said. Spaghetti Sam said nothing in response. Okay then, I guess I'll just hop on my horse and we can hit the old duster, as my great young grandpa Pappy used to say. Lola villa villa ha. Again Spaghetti Sam said nothing. He just stared at me. Geez, tough crowd. Anyway, what's our first move? I asked him. Spaghetti Sam's tongue quickly snapped out like a whip as he caught a fly and snapped it back into his mouth. I reckon we take a visit to the Ole Whisper Ridge Cemetery, he said. Oh yeah my dude, I responded. Wow, you're not such a dummy thick stupid boy after all, hee hee. And with that, the two of us rode our horses off to the cemetery. Spaghetti Sam and I arrived at the cemetery 3 hours later at like high noon, which is weird because it's like legit just down the street. Whisper Ridge is a pretty small town, you know. I just have never ridden a horse before and it kicked me off and I fell on my thick sweet booty cheeks and the horse ran off and I had to go wrangle it like the dank pro wrangler I am. Actually, that was a lie. Spaghetti Sam had to go wrangle it because I was just lying on the ground crying like this boo hoo hoo do wah 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 boo hoo wah. Anyway, the two of us stopped at the front of the cemetery and hopped off of our horses. We pushed open the wooden gate and started walking down the path that went through the middle of the cemetery. At the end of the path was the body. Oh my gosh, Spaghetti Sam, have you ever seen a dead body before? Wow, I'm kind of freaking out right now, this is all new to me, I said. Boy, I've killed many of men in my days. Store clerks, blacksmiths, cowboys, outlaws, train conductors, clowns, you name it, I've more than likely killed it with my ding-dang sweet sick thick gun, he responded. Death is like an old friend to me. Oh wow, you're so B.A. I blushed and then approached the body. It was a man, and he lied on his stomach, his head cocked to the side. Flies were just starting to swarm and there was a faint stench of rotting flesh, but there was no blood. I threw up in my mouth a little bit like you. Has anyone examined the body? I asked Spaghetti Sam. Nope, he responded. Mayor Potts called you out here immediately after the body was found. The odd thing is that everyone in our town is accounted for, so we don't got a single flying clue as to who this poor unfortunate soul is. I said to myself as I looked over the body. The man was wearing a black coat, had a goatee, a scar on the side of his face, and wore a bowler hat. Wow, such style, so dank like Lit Blaze 3 2069 raffle. Seeing as there was no blood, The man couldn't have been shot. How convenient. Trying to figure out what could have possibly happened to this stork, I grabbed the side of his coat and turned him over so that he was lying on his back. "Well, I'll be shoot shot ding dang darn spaghetti," Sam said. I stood next to him and we stared at the man's lifeless body. His shirt was unbuttoned, and he had what looked to be a six-pointed star with an eye in the middle, burned into his chest. This audiobook is copyrighted by Nasty Jack Cool Storytime Incorporated.